We are live with Lunch Break Live. Chef Quan, let's get cooking.
Yes, we're making some biscuits today. I'm going to show you all the key to making a very layerful flaky biscuit. All right. Um, so first, we're going to get started with our milk and our lemon. We're going to make some buttermilk with some fresh squeezed lemon juice and some oat milk. And so we're going to take 2 tablespoons of the lemon juice and put it inside the oat milk. And we're going to let that sit while we get everything else ready. And next, we're going to start with our flour. So we have sifted flour. This is 4 cups of sifted flour. You want to make sure you sift your flour before you use it, unless the recipe states not to. And what sifting flour does, it basically airs it out, gets all the clumps out, makes it so that you have a smooth product. And then we have salt. So we're going to dump that in there. And then we have baking powder and baking soda. This is the baking soda. I'm going to sift these as well because it's a little clumpy.
Welcome to Lunch Break Live, everyone. We are so excited. We have Chef Quan in the house, who is tirelessly working at a beautiful restaurant. She caters as well and is a certified plant-based chef. She also went to school for baking, you all. We have a pastry chef in the house. I'm so excited. We're going to be bringing to you more about these biscuits. Now, you can get this recipe and more on UnChainedTV.com. So you're also going to want to download the app now, the Unchained TV app, to get all kinds of recipes and cooking shows. And we're going to take it back to Chef Quan in just a moment. Look at that beautiful coffee maker over there. Makes me thirsty for some. Okay, back to you. Full screen.
All right, so now we got butter. The butter was in the fridge because it has to be cold. You want to make sure your butter is cold because the butter is how you get your layers in your biscuit.
All right. So are you can you show us what you're doing? You're cutting those into cubes, or how's that work?
Yep. So I just cut these into I cut it in half and then you turn it over and cut it in half again and you get 4 little cubes out of a stick of butter. So I have 12 tablespoons of butter, so I'm going to do that with all the butter and I'm going to just put it right into the bowl of flour.
Fantastic. And that plant-based butter, yes, Earth Balance is a great option. Do you ever use the Miyokos? Have you ever tried that with these biscuits?
I haven't. I really like the country crock with them. One, because they come in sticks, so it's easier to kind of portion it out into like the flakeable chunks that you need. And then it's salted already, so it kind of gives a little bit extra flavor to the biscuits as well.
Wow, we learn something new every day. Country Crock has a plant-based butter. They have one with avocado oil. They also have one with olive oil. I never knew that. Check that out.
Yep. And
That's
I'm using the one with olive oil. Here we have the butter and the flour. And what we're going to do is we're going to start incorporating the butter into the flour by just smushing it. So we want to go through every chunk and break them up and smush them. So we're going to do that.
amazing. Yes, avocado oil, olive oil, and almond oil are the different types of oils that they use in the Country Crock butter. Fantastic. Learn something new every day. All right, welcome to Lunch Break Live. Yes, and we are baking biscuits. Those biscuits that you used to love, the flakiness, the delicious taste of them. I lived in the South for a year, and those were my favorite. And I have not attempted them since,
Mhm.
uh, you know, since being vegan. Going on 7 years. So this is incredible. Look at this. All right. So you just kind of mix it in, get it all covered. Is that what we're doing? And squish it?
Yeah, you want to like cover the chunks of butter with the flour, and then you take the um. Is there any feedback that you're getting?
No, we're doing great.
Okay, cool. So you just want to cover the chunks of butter with the flour, and then you smush it in your hands. It kind of makes it less sticky on your fingers, and so you're not losing any butter from the recipe to your fingers.
All right, all right.
Oh,
Tom
oh,
wants
oh.
to know. Tom wants us to know that he lives in the south side of Chicago. Does that count? Not quite sure if that counts. Um, Amazing. All right. So
All
tell us a
right.
little bit about your vegan journey while you're working with this.
All right, yeah. So we're right before that. I'm gonna so I've got it all smushed, and so now I'm gonna make the flakes. So this is how you really get your layers in your butter. You take it and then you kind of smush it in between your thumb. You don't smush it, but you like flake it out. So you get
Mm,
these nice thin butter flakes. And so you just kind of like press it through your fingers, and it kind of gets really thin and becomes flaky, and then that's how you do it. And that's why you want to make sure your butter is cold as well, so that it actually doesn't melt in your hands.
Amazing. Now, you went to the you went to, let's see, Johnson and Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island for baking and pastry arts. What was that
Yes.
like?
That was a great experience. It was really my first time um like moving away from home, going to college. And so that was an experience in and of itself. And then uh and then cooking in like the types of culinary kitchens, the labs and stuff they have at Johnson Wells was a really fun experience. You get to like uh learn like the very nitty gritty detaily parts of cooking, so that you know all the steps. So it was nice. I'm one of those people who likes to know all the steps, so it was really fun.
Amazing. And we want to thank Adrienne Burke, Slay the Ego, right? That's her Instagram, who connected us. This is so exciting.
Hmm.
We've never had a biscuit recipe ever. And we are cooking right here in the kitchen. We got bells and whistles going on. Thank you for joining us here on Lunch Break Live. Be sure to share this out right now if you want to show your friends how to make biscuits. Again, you're going to download our app, Unchained TV, and head over to our website, unchainedtv.com, or our Instagram as well. Tons of content. It's so exciting, including this recipe. So, yes, these are baked in layers, Tom. That's right. All right, back to you, Chef Quan.
All right, now we've got it all flaked out. We're gonna add the buttermilk in portions because you may not need it all, so you want to add it in portions. So I'm going to take my bowl scraper and just add a little bit at a time.
So, did you find that when you veganize these recipes, these traditional recipes, did you have to make any adaptations for, measurements, so to speak?
Uh, for the, for this biscuit recipe, no. Usually when I make a biscuit recipe, um, after the first time I make it to see how it is, I usually almost always add more butter. Uh, so that's kind of one of my secrets. And I learned that in school. So like in breads class, we had labs, and the first breads lab, because you have two. we made biscuits the first day. And after that, the chef said, you guys can make biscuits whenever you have free time. And me and another student made biscuits every day, and it was the best.
That sounds like so much fun, especially cooking with someone else. That's great. Um,
All right.
yes.
And so we have it all mixed in the milk. See, we got a little bit left, so we didn't use it all. And so now we're going to do the fun part and roll it out.
All right. Tom wants to know, do you serve gravy with this?
I do make a cauliflower gravy with it. Today I'm going to have it with a breakfast patty that I make from scratch. But yeah, I do make a gravy and it's really delicious.
Ooh, what's in your
So,
breakfast patty? If you don't mind sharing, you don't have to give the full ingredients because I'm sure you have secret sauce, but what do you basically start with that?
yeah, the base of it is so I'm just spreading some flour out, get ready for to turn the dough out. But for the breakfast patties, it's a base of mushrooms, black beans, sunflower seeds, and quinoa.
Ooh,
And then there's some dates and maple syrup in it, and some other seasonings to make it taste like breakfast sausage.
yum. That sounds delicious and so healthy. It sounds very uh, plant-based whole foods, no extra
Yes.
additives or do you find that you enjoy making up your own recipes?
I do. I do. It's one of my favorite parts about cooking. It's something I did even before I went to school for it, is try to make my own recipes, even though I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, maybe that's part of the fun. Do you think confidence is key?
Oh, definitely. No, definitely. If you're not confident, it's not going to work. Even if it's supposed to work, if you're not confident, it's not going
Yeah,
to work.
I know. I've
Uh,
had some disasters. Okay, back to you.
so I just put some flour on top of the dough after I turn it out. And then, here, let me slide it a little bit closer in the camera. And then I put some flour on the rolling pin. And so before we roll it out, we're just gonna fold it a little bit so that adds more layers as well. So you fold it a couple times, probably about 5 or 6 times, depending on how much dough you're making.
That's
And
right.
once you,
Tommy's bake in layers. And yes, we would love to have her back. If she would like to make some gravy, why not? Good excuse to bring you back. And Tom says he'd make a cup of coffee to go with this in that blue coffee pot. uh,
yeah,
Comments there. Yes. Again, tell us where you're coming in from.
I'm coming in from Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay. So there you have it, all the way from Virginia. Welcome again to Lunch Break Live. We are here daily bringing these delicious brand new recipes, never a repeat, always original. So many fabulous people who offer their time. Just appreciate you so much. And all y'all who watch, thank you for continuing to watch and share. We appreciate it. All right. So, yes, we are rolling it out.
Yes.
Rolling it out.
So once you fold it up, you put a little bit more flour on top and you just roll it out to about 1.5 inch thick. And then you have your pan ready. You can line it with parchment paper or you can just grease it up a little bit. Um, and then you take your biscuit cutter and then you just cut them out. And then you drop them right onto the pan. And I'm about to show you one so you can see all of the layers before you even bake it. So,
Oh, wow. That is gorgeous. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Now, you know how when you make the molds, right, so to speak,
mhm.
the extra, do you have to roll it back out or do you just kind of squish it together and push down with your hand? How do you do that?
I fold it back up and roll it back out because once again, you'll if you smush it, you're gonna smush the layers.
Oh, gotcha.
Um, and so
No smushing, everybody.
No smushing. No smushing. If you smush it, you're gonna have a hockey puck.
Right. You want it to flake open so you can put that delicious plant-based butter on the inside. That's right.
Mm-hmm. And
Amazing. Wow. Great. We're going to see this shortly.
so I've got a little bit left over, and so I'm just gonna put a little bit more flour down and fold it up very gently.
Yes, Tom says he could eat 12 of those. Me too, Tom. Maybe not 12, but I could certainly get 6 in. Now tell us, how do you make your gravy? How do you get that? What's some of your tips on
So, I mean, the gravy is really just roasted cauliflower and broth, and you blend it together.
Ooh.
So you roast it and you boil it in broth, and then you blend it together. So the flavor really comes from how you season it. So you just really have to season it really good.
Okay. It's all about the seasonings.
Mm-hmm.
All about the spice, y'all.
And that's the secrets you don't get from a chef.
Ah, right. Well, each person has, like I said earlier, secret sauce, their own way of doing things and adding things. And I made a homemade cheese sauce the other day, and I put my Old Bay in there. It was so good. Oh my gosh. And that was, it's kind of been sitting on the shelf since we don't eat fish. And I love those seasonings in there. All right, we're back to folding, y'all. Do you see this?
Okay, yeah. So we've got one more, and we could make more biscuits from this because it's not bad. It'll just be a little bit more smushed than the first two. But we're out of room on the tray, so I'll just set this aside for now.
Now, could you save that, like, and put it in something and freeze it, or do you not recommend freezing it?
No, I don't recommend freezing it. I would recommend freezing biscuits after you cook them.
Okay. Freeze them afterwards. All right. Are y'all taking notes out there? All right. Well, guess what? The good news is you can watch this again, and we're going to be bringing this show plus the recipe over to our website at UnChainedTV.com. Our brand new website, so exciting. And we also have our app. So in our streaming platform, everybody, UnChained TV, if you haven't downloaded yet or put it onto your Roku and your streaming services, take a look and check it out because there's so much good content, including our New Day, New Chef show and lots of plant-based in the burbs as well as lunch break lives. Okay, back to that tray. Gorgeous. Woo!
So now we have to let them rest because we just did a lot of work in the dough. And if you don't want your bread to be tough, you have to let it rest for a little bit. So you set it aside for about 10 minutes. If it's kind of warm and your butter is melting, you can put it in the fridge for that 10 minutes. Or if it's pretty sturdy and your kitchen's not too hot, you can just leave it out. And so we're just going to leave it out because it's all right in here. And then, so what I did already was make some biscuits before this, so we don't have to wait those 10 minutes for it to rest and then 15 minutes for it to cook.
Amazing. Can't wait to see the finished products. If you're just joining us, we are Lunch Break Live. Chef Quan is with us all the way from Virginia, Norfolk, and we're going to be seeing these finished biscuits shortly. What do you have in the pan? I see them rising. Can you see?
Yes. So the one thing before you put them in the oven, you do want to brush them with some melted butter. Normally you do egg yolk, an egg wash, but we're vegans and plant-based. So we brush it with a little bit of butter just to give it some color on the top before you put it in the oven. So after it rests, right before you put it in the oven, you just brush it with some butter. So now we're going to take out the ones that are already finished and show you all these. There you
go. Those, wow. I could definitely put some jam on those and be jamming for lunch.
Yes.
Amazing. Is there any way you can put one on a plate and bring it up close so we can all
Of
just
course.
cool a little more?
Of course.
Yes, biscuits, delish. You can imagine the gravy. And Chef Quan was talking about a delicious sausage that she makes, a homemade plant-based sausage. Yes, that's right, Kim. Oh my gosh, delicious, yummy biscuits. Exactly. You know what that's like. You grew up on those, right? Everybody probably has had one or another of a biscuit. And
All right.
okay, here we go. Back to you. Back to the shot. Look at this, everybody. Wow. Scrumptious. You know it. We love it. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, on Lunch Break Live today. We will see you next time. Find Chef Quan. I'll put in the chat how you can find her. What's your Instagram again?
You can follow my business page at Nurture Eats.
EATZ
Z.
on the end there, everybody. All right. Thanks again for joining us on Lunch Break Live, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.